And what I told Bud, I looked him dead in the eye, and I said, if you want that fight to happen quickly, you're going to have to either leave Bob Arum or you have to do some kind of deal through Bob Arum to go over to PBC and make it happen. And the reason why I said that is because it's no different than Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao, they were talking about him fighting, Mayweather, right? 5 years it took, obviously, but they got it in. They got the fight. But guess what happened with Pacquiao after he fought Mayweather? He went over to PBC and he signed that 2 or 3 fight deal. This is business. And so if Terence Bud Crawford want to fight with Spence, he know what he's going to have to do. So what I would say to Bud, if I was managing him, if they offer us at least 10 million and at least maybe 70, 30, 60, 40 on pay-per-view, we're going to take that. You know why? Because we know we can beat Spence.
So, with this being said, now you heard what I said. Y'all all heard what I said, right? Y'all heard what I said last year in that interview. Now, because I laid the foundation of what I said last year, if I was managing Crawford, well, I have to put my manager's hat on again because I'm sticking to what I said then. I mean, think about it like this. I was right about all the other 2 or 3 things that I recommended Crawford do to secure this fight. So why not? Why not piggyback off of what I said then? Because it's all about business. It's never personal. Now, Terence Crawford did win in the first fight. He captured all 3 of Errol Spence Jr.'s belts. So now, not only is he undefeated, but he's also undisputed as the welterweight champion of the world. And because he beat Errol Spence, technically speaking, he now becomes the A-side. Now, there's 2 schools of thoughts on this. And you may have heard me say this on Boxing Outlet's channel. I'm not sure if he published a video yet or not. But the thing is this. School of thought number 1. Hey, Terence Crawford has all the belts. And because he has all of the belts in the welterweight division, he should ask for more money now. Second school of thought is regardless of whether or not Terence Crawford has all the belts, Errol Spence outsells Terence Crawford tremendously in ticket sales and in pay-per-view buys. Those are the 2 schools of thoughts that either side of the equation of fans can take. Well, let's take all of those things into consideration as I break it down right now. So let's take both 2 schools of thoughts. Let's combine them. School of thought number 1. Yes, Terence Crawford defeated Errol Spence. He is the A-side. He won in the first fight. He has captured all 4 of the belts. He's undisputed. That's a fact. Right? School of thought number 2. Let's throw that in the pot and mix it up. Errol Spence does sell more pay-per-view buys than Terence Bud Crawford. That's a fact. Errol Spence does sell more live gate tickets than Terence Crawford. That's also a fact. Now that we know that all of these elements involved are facts, now we can deal with what is real. Terence Crawford was the B-side in the first fight and Errol Spence was the A side. That's not an opinion. That is a fact. The negotiations went Terence "Bud" Crawford's way. Well, thanks to him getting adequate representation, as I recommended him to do, but also because of Errol Spence and his determination to beat Terence Crawford, which I believe in Errol Spence's heart of hearts, he truly believes he can beat Terence Crawford. And because of his desire to become undisputed in the welterweight division. So those two elements combined is what finessed Errol Spence out of his position, or as they say, tricked out of his position. Errol Spence was tricked out of his position because of those two elements that I just previously mentioned. And because of that, it appeared that Errol Spence was the B side and Terence Crawford was the A side. But now that Terence Crawford really is the A side in real life because he really beat Errol Spence, well, sounds like good business to me. So since we mixed all of those true facts and elements in the same pot and mixed it up, what do we get? We get everything that Terence "Bud" Crawford is asking for again. Well, they say it's a rumor, but let's just say if he is. And if he's not, I'm sure somebody that knows him is going to watch this video. And he might even ask now. And he should. Because technically he is the A side. And Terence Crawford should ask for more money than he got paid in the first fight. Yes, he should. He's the A side. He's undefeated. He's undisputed. But he does not sell more than Errol Spence. So yes, I still think he should ask for more money than he got paid in the first fight. Now, just because he asks for more money does not necessarily translate into him getting paid more than Errol Spence Jr. See, that's the thing. Yes, he should ask for more money through his representation, and he should get paid more money than he did in the first fight because he won. He's the A side now. This is just good business. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to translate him making more than Errol Spence. But then again, how do we know? This will be Terence "Bud" Crawford's first fight, technically, as the A side, not under the banner of Top Rank. So he's going to use that leverage. In fact, he should use that leverage of being the A side, technically, and getting paid more money. But we don't know if he can outsell Errol Spence right now because he dethroned Errol Spence. And hey, he's been in the eyes of the media now for the last month, going on a press tour, doing interviews all over the world. And so that leverage of him gaining that media exposure, and I'm talking about not just the mainstream media, which is, of course, the networks. I'm talking about the real boxing media included, the YouTube boxing community. Because every time we say his name, whether we agree with him or not, it's still publicity. And guess what? Controversy creates cash. And of course, Crawford is embroiled in a lot of controversy these days. But it could create more cash for him. And he might, just maybe, sell more than Errol Spence coming up in the rematch. And that's even more leverage. So my verdict is in. Yes, Terence Crawford should ask for more money. than he got paid in the first fight. And if I was managing him, I certainly would represent him to do the same. Well, that's my take on manager Marty.